Hey everybody, it's Josh with Talk About Trek, and I am happy to be back again talking about yet another New Frontier novel. We finished up book 3 today, and these little things are just little tasty treats, you know. This one came in at 152 pages, and if I had the time, I could have sat down and knocked it out in an afternoon, probably. It's just that good and engaging, too, where you want to keep reading and keep reading. But of course, with a job and a family and a million other things to do, you can't just spend a whole day reading a book anymore. Well, some days you can, but most days you can't do that. There's too much to do. But today we had a good amount of time, and we spent that finishing up book 3, also known as The Two-Front War. Of course, also written by Peter David. The New Frontier concept was by John J. Ordover and Peter David. This is no new thing. We have been here quite a few times. This is actually the third video in almost as many days that we've been talking about the New Frontier books, and there's a fairly good chance we'll be back tomorrow or Tuesday with the, I guess you could say, the finale. These first 4 books definitely are like one story. You're just getting to know the crew, you're getting to know the situation, the background, and that's going to culminate, I believe, in the next one. And then when you go into the 5th book, then you'll probably be getting kind of pushing off more into some new adventures and stuff. I spent a little time looking at the timeline kind of going forward, and it was pretty exciting because the way it looks here, now pop this over here quick, and I didn't spoil myself, but just to get the proper reading order that I needed. So we'll read next Endgame. After that, we're going to have to get Martyr. Or no, we have Martyr. We have to order number 6. Martyr's 5. Fire on High. And then, this is exciting, we get to read the Tales from the Captain's Table anthology. That's something that I've always wanted to read, and I was just kind of waiting for the right opportunity to slot that in. And we'll get to slot that in because that's kind of where the story goes. So just kind of a little bit of an idea of where I'm going in the future here, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I feel like that light is very distracting. Let's just go like slightly. Oh my gosh, now it's more distracting. Okay. Oh my god. Is that? Hold on. We're going to get there in the end. Look at that. Look at that. Now we're right where we want to be. Okay. Anyway, Star Trek New Frontier, Book 3. Again, from the universe of Star Trek The Next Generation, a new ship, a new crew, a new mission. Roll call the crew of the USS Excalibur. Dr. Selar. Love Dr. Selar. The Excalibur's Vulcan doctor is all business. If you want to know what's wrong with you, she's the one to go to, but not if you're expecting someone to hold your hand. As calm and logical as the rest of her people, Dr. Selar has a secret as shocking to her as it will be to the rest of the crew. Uh-oh. Swan. I'm going to keep calling him Swan unless someone corrects me. Swan. A prince exiled from the Thelonian Empire, he is beloved by some and targeted by death by others. But Swan has his own agenda, a search for the one woman who means the world to him. And Zach Kebron, the bronze-skinned brickheart, is the security chief of the Excalibur. When he walks, the decks shake, and if he's coming your way, you'd better pray that you're on his good side. 2 mysteries vie for the attention of the crew of the Excalibur. Is the hospitality of the people of Nelkar too good to be true? And does a stranded spaceship truly hold the object of Swan's quest? Or is it instead an all too deadly trap? I could tell you, but that would spoil it. I have been enjoying. Oh, I put them up, didn't I? I've been enjoying all these back covers because each one has taken a member of the crew and kind of given this little fun little just little bit about them. So and whoever did that did well too. I think that's they're fun. So maybe John or Peter David did that themselves or something, So anyway, this was, like I said, a short 152 pages, and mainly covers, well, you kind of have a split story. So the last one left off with Swan and Zach Kebron getting on the runabout so that they could go after this this call from this science ship, this Kebron, right? The crew of the Excalibur has to stay behind to finish the repair job on the transport ship, right? But then, just as the last book ended, they were attacked by a unknown ship, and that's kind of how things left off there. And also, you knew that the last book left off with you knowing that there was going to be some kind of ambush waiting for Swan and Zach there aboard the Kebron. So that's where we start off. And again, it just jumps right into it, basically. So it starts off. I'm gonna getting the lay of the land here, and then once we got that, we'll kind of give you an idea. We've got a good bit there. We've got a good bit there. Okay, perfect. We know exactly where we are now. Non-spoilers, I guess, before we get started. Again, it is just good Star Trek fun. I will say this one is a little more. How should I put it? I don't know, just maybe a little bit more adult than I typically find my Trek. And I don't know if that's something that have I heard or read that goes further in Peter David's works down the line. But to be honest with you, I don't need so much of that in my Star Trek. But it's not like that bad. There's just a little bit more than you would typically be used to in one of these books. But that's fine. Again, it's nothing terrible. Just a little different. That's all. But the book in itself, it's just, I don't know. It's just fantastic because, well, I guess I feel like I'm reading and talking about 4 pieces of one book, because this is basically one book and it feels like they did cut it into 4 pieces. But for me, that's wonderful because that means that I can talk about one book 4 times, which is basically what I'm doing. So this is the 3rd time talking about the New Frontier, the beginning of the New Frontier saga. So now we're 75% into it. We have more information on who these characters are, and in this one, we're getting even more backstory. So we're getting more information on what's going on with Dr. Selar, a big reveal about Soleta and her history, and I guess definitely more and more of a feel for the kind of captain that Captain Calhoun really is, too. And I guess I like also how they chose to send Swan and Zach off together, and I like how that is developing as well. And having these two kind of bounce off of each other in the situation they're in really added to this book as well. In the last book, they brought up, and I think I brought up, Calhoun's knack. He's just got this feeling. And in this book, this comes up again. So, and this is, again, another thing that I really like about him. He's got this almost kind of like sixth sense, that something is going to go wrong. That's something every good captain should have, right? So that was really cool. And the mystery, I guess, it wasn't a huge, giant mystery, but it was interesting. And now, I guess, I am very excited for the end game, which is the name of the last book. So it's going to be very good. They've got a lot of different things leading up. They've got a lot of loose ends to tie up. And it's just a thing. Look at how little and tasty this thing is. I'm going to eat it up tomorrow. And I have a feeling it's going to be like a ride, right? It's going to be a nice ride. So I'm looking forward to that. If you don't want to be spoiled on New Frontier, the Two-Front War, you can go ahead and shut down now, and we will just move on and just kind of talk about some of the things that happen in here. So, right at the beginning, basically the runabout with Zach and Swan is destroyed, but they are able to beam over to the science ship in time. So now they are on board, they're stranded, and being hunted by the crew now. I guess one thing that kind of makes me, um, I guess this science ship is kind of a poor science ship, because where the heck are their internal sensors? Like, and can't they like cut off? And they got no force fields. They got no internal sensors. So I'm thinking they're not on the Enterprise here. Come on. But anyway, so you've got that situation going on there. The Excelsior, again, the Excelsior, no. The Excalibur is under fire from this mysterious ship. Calhoun, basically, he doesn't want to mess around. So he opens fire and kind of takes care of business. They reach out to him finally, and they're able to explain that they are the Nelcar, and this is their region of space, and they were just protecting their region, because things have kind of fallen apart lately, and things need protecting. So when a ship comes in, that's kind of what they've been doing. So they did that, but then they noticed. So I guess, well, they noticed that the transport ship was there. They assumed the Excalibur was attacking and doing whatever. So that's what they were trying to do. They offer the survivors and the captain sanctuary on their planet, and immediately Calhoun has got this, like this feeling that this is not right. There's something here that's just not quite right about these people and this offer. So he's a little bit worried about it, and instead of just letting them go, chooses to follow them back to Nelcar so that they can, assess the situation of what's going on there. So that's what you have going on that part of the story. The other part, this is where a lot of the action is going on. They are, like I said, being hunted down by the crew, and this crew is a bunch of Thelonians who are, basically against the royal family, right? So they're trying to hunt him down, and it turns out their leader, this Zoran, is actually like Swan's old best friend, right? Man. So they are hunting them down on the ship, but they hear them coming, right? So at first they're arguing, Zach and Swan. Swan doesn't want to take orders, doesn't want to listen, but he gets him to play as a decoy, and then he kind of hides behind some steps, and they handily take out the first two, arm themselves, and it's some fairly violent action. Remember, 10 minutes the lights go out. I have a setting that can change that, but I still haven't done that, even though I've made that happen a million times. And we lost our train of thought. It went over there. Anyway, action, violence. They really kind of kick the crap out of those guys, and they're dead. They go back to the Excalibur story for a little bit. They get to the planet. They beam down. Robin Leffler gets a little time here. Of course, you remember her from Star Trek TNG. She was played by, was it Ashley Judd, I think? God, I hope I'm right. I think I'm right. Robin Leffler. Anyway, she had her Leffler's Laws, right? And her and Wesley got on for a bit. And it was a good episode. I like that. And I'm glad that they brought her back for these books. And she gets a little time on the away team, and she notices that the planet is a little bit strange. The people seem to be kind of with the buildings and everything, the technology is kind of like a hodgepodge of other people's things, brought together, right? They don't really seem to have their own kind of style. She sees like one style over here, one style over there, so something else is going on there, But the people, they really like it there. The chief delegate, I think her name was Lahira. She has kind of gotten the ear of Captain Huffman, who was in charge of the the refugees. Got him a little boozed up now too, and has got basically everyone convinced that this is definitely the place to stay. And since they're their own free people, of course Calhoun lets them do what they want to do. Beams back up to the ship and arranges to have their belongings sent down. Let's cut back to the Kevron Rian. Zach and Swan have separated now, thanks to Swan, who wanted to get away. Basically what happened is they were contacted over the radio by Zoran, who basically said, your sister is dead. She's dead, Swan, trying to make him crazy, right? And it kind of worked. He did go a little crazy. Zack tried to stop him. You know, I love that I've seen Rock Talk from Prodigy, so now when I see Zack, I picture that kind of brick-ar, this massive thing, you know. And I'm not sure how I haven't really looked into it. Draw him on the next covers, but we'll see that. Anyway, Zack, he's freaking huge, right? Anyway, Swan separates himself from Zack. He wants to track down Zoran and strangle this man to death with his bare hands, and he wants not to be interfered with. He gets kind of lured into an area. No one is there. All of a sudden, from above, Zoran dives down on him. Double axe handles him to the back or something, and in a blow that should paralyze him, takes him to the floor, right? Swan is raging, and in his spectacular, powerful rage, he's able to, basically mind over matter, get his body up, and fight back. And it kind of comes to a standstill, and then I think Zoran realizes kind of like time is up. I got to get out of here. Turns out they've already set a bomb on the ship, and the other two guys that are working with him are like, all right, we know you want to kill him with your hands, but we just want to live. So bomb for 15 minutes. That gives you 10 minutes to go kill him with your hands. If you don't do it, we're out of here. So 10 minutes were up. They beamed him out. Swan is enraged. Zack finally catches up with him. They find the... I'm leaving things out, obviously, but we're already at 16 minutes on this very short book. They find the bomb. And that's a fun scene, too, when they find the bomb. Initially, Swan made Zack promise not to interfere with the final battle at all. To not interfere with the outcome. So when Swan's like, can you disarm this? He's like, well, no, you made me promise not to interfere. I can't do anything, So that was pretty good. But anyway, there was nothing he could do anyway. There was no way for him to disarm the bomb. They give a little clue in there somewhere about a shimmer off in the distance as the other ship moved off. But then they end that chapter with the bomb exploding. Oh my God, are Swan and Zack dead? No, they're not, because I already know that they survive. But that's okay. We get to figure out how they survive and find out how they survive later on tonight when we read Book 4. Back on the Excalibur. They've beamed up. They got in contact with Lahira again, right? And they're saying they're going to beam down their stuff. And now she changes her tune. She's all like, well, you're going to have to give us some of your technology. And you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do that. And Calhoun's like, no, we're not doing any of that. What are you crazy? So she grabs Huffman by the hair and slits his throat. Oh my God. Like, okay. That's like it's a little, I don't know. I don't go in for, oh, that was gross. Anyway, blood was spraying out and everything. But it's just a book. It's fine. Listen, these people are bad people, right? And Calhoun knew it all along, but basically they now threaten that they're going to kill each and every one of the hostages in turn unless he does what they want. So you can kind of see this is how they've done what they've done and acquired what they've acquired through kidnapping, threatening, murder. Yeah. Calhoun says no. He says no. And actually, let's see. We can find this easy enough. Yeah, so he says no, and they're kind of like, what? I mean, no, there will be no deals. No, there will be no discussion. And no, you needn't wait. Kill them. And everybody's like, what? My first officer appears on the opinion that I should negotiate. I'm just going to read this whole Calhoun part because it's pretty awesome. Lahira, the refugees made their own decision. I gave them advice. They ignored it. Whatever situation they're in now is of their own making. I have no sympathy for them that you can play upon. No guilt, no compunction about letting them die. They made their free choice and they die as free beings. Nor do I wish to negotiate with terrorists. There's no point to it. My understanding, Captain, from what the late Captain Huffman told me, is that you were something of a terrorist yourself once, Lahira said. Who are you, then, to judge me? There was dead silence on the bridge for a long moment. And when Calhoun spoke, there was something terrifying in his voice. No one on the bridge had ever heard anything like it. It was as if an approaching natural disaster, like a tornado or an ion storm, had been given voice to declare the dreadful damage it was about to inflict. Good stuff. You desire negotiation, Lahira? That I will not do. I don't negotiate. That is the immutable law of my universe. Another immutable law, however, is one of physics, that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Kill the refugees, Lahira? Kill them all. I don't care. I've seen too much death to let it be used as a club against me. But when you're done killing them, be aware that you've killed yourselves. Because I will order this ship to open fire in your capital city and blow you all to hell. Who am I to judge you, Lahira? I am someone who knows what it's like to deal with someone like me. Calhoun out. To be continued. Oh! Alright, it was fun. It was so fun, okay? I really like reading these books, and I really like talking about them with you, and I'm going to go ahead and end this because I'm going to go read the next book. Or maybe we're going to talk about something else. And then we'll read the next book. Anyway, we'll see. This is done. Live long and prosper. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.